Hey guys, what's up? It is AJ from the band Something Heavy, and I would like to welcome you all to episode 3 of Music Saved My Life. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 and 2. I know I did, talking with our very, very special guests. Tonight's very special guest, he shouldn't be a stranger to you, but you could see him in that screen or over here. I don't know how you have it set up. He's over there or whatever. My good friend, Mr. Frank Jr. Oh, look at this. He's got multi-screens over here. I saw that
I have transition. And then when I need fans, I just go, "Hi, look, everyone fans."
Oh God, this is. I knew I should have expected this from Frank,
I'll
but
keep it one camera. I promise.
all right, yeah, keep it to one camera. So there you go. It's Frank. You know who Frank is. So everybody, welcome him. Clap. Yes.
Hello.
Golf claps. So
Yes, golf claps.
how you doing, dude? How you been? I haven't seen you in like forever.
I know it's good to see your face, brother.
No,
the Zoom stuff is good because we get. No, I'm saying because we talk on text and and whatever, but like with this whole thing that's going on in the world, to see you, like, it's good, man. It's good to see you, brother.
Yeah, it's awesome to see people again. Like the select few that I do see, it's like, okay, I know what you look like. Like
Right.
let's get some new people into the
Right,
mix.
I need new faces.
Yeah, exactly. So how you been starting off? How you been feeling? Because everybody that's watching should know, you fought with this bullshit. So how are you feeling?
As far as having COVID, the after effects, listen, dude, I feel very lucky, man. But I'm kind of battling, if you will, this breathing situation that's going on in my lungs.
Okay.
I'm not too sure what it is. The doctors want me to go for a round of tests to see what's what, and I'm breathing heavier than usual, and it's not because I'm a fat bastard.
Like the rest of us.
It's
not helping.
I get like coughing fits. That's like it's uncontrollable and
it's
painful, and
it's
so we're gonna see what's what. I'm sure it's nothing, but
that's what happens when you smoke 2 packs a day, dude. I told you got to cut back to at least
I smoke
1
2
pack.
packs of juicy fruit because I don't smoke, AJ.
Juicy fruit. I love how that's the gum you go to. So 1980s.
I was trying to think of like big league chew.
All right, that'll qualify, or at least go to Bazooka or something, because Mike is always saying that.
Nice.
No, dude, it's I'm very happy to hear that you are for the most part doing better. It's like God, you said,
could have been a lot worse, man.
like you said, it's good to see your face again and stuff. And I mean, I see one of the many guitars, the axes, hanging behind you, so I know you're playing. I'm watching your stuff that you're posting, so it's very, very good to see you back in action. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I have all my gear set up through the computer and my headphones, so I could sit like I am in my living room and just play for as long as I want.
Yeah.
It's great. Just try to be creative. And do stuff.
Yeah, definitely, dude. All right, so we've gotten through the BS. We know everybody's healthy. We said hello and everything like that.
That's
yeah, so that's usually how I segue. That's my segue into like the first round of questions.
Cool.
I've known you for a very long time now. It's well over 10 years that I've known you.
We met through your band FFR.
Yes, we met through we met through Mike. Mike was very he was even back then he was very friendly with Jimmy, and they struck up a friendship really quick. And then once we started to do the FFR Craving Strange Long Island tour, where whenever you guys would play, we'd jump on the card. It was like, oh, Craving's playing, all right, dude, we'll ask him if we could open. Like, let's just, every show you guys played, we tried to get on, and it was great, and it just snowballed into, forget it, the prank wars that we had, the stage antics and stuff like that. Anybody that's watching that was a part of that, and you were able to see that, classic. And who knows, maybe if we start playing live again, some of that shit will come back, because that was, like, dude,
rap Jimmy's come home, like come to the studio after our long show, and like loading in your gear at like 3 a.m, and Jimmy and Tasson are open the door to the studio and all these balls come fucking flying out. And
Yep.
you
Listen,
guys called us.
you got yeah, but you know what? You guys got us back because you duct taped us into our room with packing peanuts. And I'm gonna find those pictures and post them because I'm the one that got hit with them, and it was classic. And we couldn't get out of our room. We had to call John to cut us out of our room because we couldn't.
We were trying to get all, you know what a pain in the ass that was, getting those packing peanuts in.
I can imagine, because putting the balls in wasn't easy. Putting the balls in was not easy at all.
I'm sure, man. I'm definitely sure. The wind with packing peanuts, you know, like the wind with the door kept floating them all over the place.
Yep.
Capture them and put them in the room.
Oh man, if only we had the technology then that we have now to be able to like record that, and forget it. That would be a web series on its own.
That was when phones just started to like be like smartphones.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden video cameras came out. I think it was like a year after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember our tour to Indiana. I had the iPhone 4 when it came out, and it was like, oh, it's got a video camera in it, you know, and I'm like telling Jim, I'm like convincing him that the reason why I bought this phone was for the band. Meanwhile,
sounds about right.
I found selfies. I found, and it all wound up on my pages, which I get in trouble for. But
and
yeah,
now,
you know,
and Frank went from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone like 68 in a matter of 3 months, because we know how technologically advanced he is.
It's not advanced. I'm technologically silly. You know, I have to buy all the gadgets and have like, I have a mixing board here. I don't need a mixing board. I have an audio interface. I have a mixing board, so if you come by and you're like, wow, that's cool. It's why.
How do you use it? I'm really not that sure.
It just looks pretty neat. I got a couple of candles on the table.
Look, it lights up, and look.
I have lights. I have puck lights.
So, dude, that being said, I know that you've been playing guitar, forever, and that's not a poke at your age at all. That's just saying I know you've been playing guitar forever.
Thank you,
when you first got into and first got involved in music, like, was it guitar that struck your interest, or was there something else that you were like, damn, I think I want to try that? Like, that looks pretty cool.
I remember clearly I was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
You remember memories. There's a lot of things that I suppress and I forget, right?
Yeah.
But I remember that time when my sister, who was she's like 10 years older than me, she had a backyard party for her friends or whatever it was. And I was a kid. I was just like this kid roaming around. And her boyfriend at the time had brought his Gibson guitar. How do I know it? Because it was a gold top. I remember looking at this thing and remember looking back at photos when I got older. It was like, yeah, wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Plugged into this amplifier, and I don't even remember what he was playing, but I heard the sounds of a guitar at 3, and I was just like, what is that? You know, like that interested me. Some kids would get scared, loud noises, whatever. The kid, whatever.
Yeah.
I was interested. Fast forward to my brother, who was older than me. He was into Kiss at the time. I didn't know what Kiss was. He liked scaring the crap out of me. like for my communion, the holiest of holy days, he made me watch The Exorcist.
That's a great movie to watch on a day like that.
Sleeping in my parents' bedroom for years. But I got into guitar through hearing a Kiss record, and it was in his bedroom. He had a stereo on, and it was Kiss Alive 2, and it was the guitar solo for Ace Frehley song called Shock Me. Okay. And I just remember hearing the feedback and then the licks, and I was like, I didn't know. I just told my brother, I'm like, what is that? I need to know what that is.
Yeah.
And then the only cool thing my brother ever did my entire existence of living was he gave me all of his Kiss records, because then he got into other kinds of music. So when I took all of his Kiss records, I dove into reading the lyrics. Even though I don't understand them, I'm looking at the photos, and your imagination goes. And then my sister took guitar lessons to impress her boyfriend.
Okay.
And I tagged along because I'm with my mom and I'm a little kid, and there was another experience, see guitars, and the guitar teacher was honed in on me playing, because I couldn't get my fingers around the fretboard, but he was listen, he told my mom, he's listen, give it a year. If his hands reach around the fretboard at that time and he's still interested, I'll train him.
Yeah.
And he did. And he was my guitar teacher, this guy named Luca Peace. He was a jazz musician.
Okay.
And he trained me for until I was 8. you know, and then stopped taking lessons. And then I found Al Petrelli, and
Yeah.
the rest is history after that, you know. But,
It's, you know what? It's very funny that you mentioned that the teacher was a jazz musician, because I've always, even when we were in the band together, I've always heard, like, in a lot of your solos and even in a lot of the licks you write, there's a lot of that like jazz blues soul to it. So that just answered, you know, whatever question I had. That's really cool.
yeah, the good thing about what I learned when I was a kid is because now as I got older, I always want to evolve, but I still want to be me, you know.
Of
And like
course.
there was a time where all I did, like when I was growing up, after I learned from Petrelli, I was in my teen years. All I wanted to do was the finger taps,
Yep.
and I wanted to do it was on MTV, and I wanted to look like not Eddie Van Halen, but I wanted to play like Eddie Van Halen. I wanted that powerful, crazy guitar stuff to be flashy.
Yeah.
And then I joined a band with a bunch of older guys. They were two brothers, and they introduced me to the blues.
Okay.
And you know, that's a whole other world.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
of like, and I didn't know anything about it.
Yep.
And that's how like I got introduced to that. And I played on the circuit for a long time in a 3-piece blues band. And that's where all my blues licks, and I engulfed myself with, I'm gonna learn every blues lick in the world.
Yep.
And then incorporate it with rock. And then that's how I kind of like hone in on my own sound that way. You know?
Yeah.
That's cool that you caught that. I appreciate that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, dude, it's little things like that, you know, I pick up, like I said, because you have such a distinct sound. Like you can, I don't want to say, oh, you can tell who's playing guitar, like when you listen, you know, either to your guys' stuff or our stuff, or even, you know, the LTOB stuff or Revel 9. Oh yeah, that's definitely Kaz playing and stuff like that. Like you can, you kind of pick up on people's nuances and just, you know, their tone and stuff like that. So that's awesome that, you know, that's where you got a lot of the beginning from. That's really sick.
I'm very
fortunate.
Really sick. Yeah, I got very fortunate with all that stuff. Good experiences.
Yeah, awesome, dude. All right, so let's fast forward a whole bunch of years. You're in bands, you're playing and stuff like that. You know, you meet a chick, you're still playing and stuff like that. You find out you're gonna become a dad, and little friggin' Frankie, who, if you're watching, is amazing. I love this dude. He's gonna become a part of your life. What was like one of the first things that went through your head when you found out you were going to be a dad?
Well, it was a little different experience, because that was the height of my substance abuse issues. I was
okay. Yep.
When I met Frankie's mother, she was also doing the things that I was doing, which was attractive to me at that time. You know, we hooked up and we dated, and she got pregnant. And for me, I was raised by my dad was my hero. You know that.
Yep.
Respect, values, the whole nine. You make your bed, you lie in it, you do the right thing. If you're a man and you get someone pregnant, you raise that child. There's no like, well, I didn't mean to do it. You know, well, the kid is on his way, man up, you know?
Yeah.
So I was at a time where I had to make a life change. And that was when I unfortunately I came to a point where I couldn't stop and I overdosed.
Wow.
I was rushed to the hospital, and Frankie was like 6 months old at the time. And I tried to stop. It was a very difficult age. It was really fun. But the thing was, when I woke up from my coming out of, you know, almost dying.
Yeah.
Doctor said, you know, I can't believe we pumped all that stuff out of you. I can't believe you're alive.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, alive? Did I almost die? You know, because when you pass out with all that stuff, you don't think of it. You think like, I passed out and woke up in cool places. You know, like, oh, I'm in the hospital. Why are my hands done? You know?
Yeah.
But fast forward, when I woke up, I realized in that moment, I got to grow up. You know, I heard my dad going, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
In my ear, you know? I took 2.5, 3 weeks and locked myself in my apartment. And my mom watched Frankie, and I kicked. I didn't go to rehab, I didn't do anything. And then from that point on, my journey for both being clean and sober and not fucking up to raising Frankie and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know? And it was the best decision I ever made. You know, because my kid today, he plays better guitar than I do. He's like, how old is Jimmy, Dad? Is he going to be around that long? You know, if you want you to stay home from the studio, I'll go. Tell Jimmy to pick me up. I'm like, dude, shut up. I'm on the band. So I'm very fortunate. I've been very lucky. I've had like a
Yeah.
a lot of lives, man. So
Yeah, no, dude, listen, like I said, I've heard you on, multiple different podcasts, the one that Mike and Jen have done in the past. I've heard you talk about other things like the journey that you've been on and that you've come back from it's so inspiring that, you can go to the darkest place and still come out on the other side. Like, I mean, dude, look at you. Like, you got an amazing kid. You're with an amazing woman now who's got amazing kids. You got the place of your own. You still got the band. You got a job. You got this. You got everything. It's like, you can go through some of the darkest shit that you've ever been through and just come out pretty much where the light is on the other side. And it really is inspiring. And like hearing you talk about it, the way you fought through addiction and depression and stuff like that, it gives people hope. It gives me hope that, it's like I said, even through your darkest days, you could still find the light. And
yeah, it's all about for me now. I mean, on February 2nd, I'm gonna have 15 years clean and sober.
That's
consecutive.
That's unbelievable, like, wow, dude. That's
I remember when my first meeting, and they were like, telling me how you stay clean, you don't use, blah blah blah. And I was my first meeting, like 1997, and I was like introduced to, this is before Frankie. I was trying to get clean then.
Yeah.
And and I had some clean time. I had like 4 or 5 years clean. Like I was like, all right, cool. But I didn't understand the concept, because I guess it goes with experience and listening to suggestions and listening to the people who have stayed in the rooms who are successful at not using drugs, right? It's always about that, because listen, I could have the house, the guitars, and lose everything, like you just said I have.
Yeah.
If I pick up one time, if I lose it all, and I could do it, but I don't want to,
Yeah.
So it took me some time to like really understand, this is a life journey. This is a whole change. And I think that day in the hospital, with Frankie, that whole situation was like, wow, I almost ended my life,
Yeah.
And it was crazy, AJ. It was really crazy. But, unfortunately, I met some amazing people in recovery who have guided me and who have not let me co-sign my shit, not be like, I'll go into a meeting and be like, oh, I'm upset today about this. Yeah, well, where's the solution? What? I'm upset about this. Yeah, okay, great. What are you going to do to fix it? And I would always feel bad about, let me complain, but like, where's the solution of how you're going to fix it?
Yeah.
The person on the other end who's listening wants to hear the solution, because they're in the same boat, but maybe they don't tell you, but you never know who you're going to affect. So when you say, like, to me now that it's like a powerful thing and all this stuff, like I take that so seriously to my heart, because, this is, I don't just stay clean for me. I mean, it's the first thing, but I want to be in, not the poster board for anything or any kind of like inspirational, but I want to be like an example for someone who I don't even know.
Exactly.
Who's looking in going, dude, he's in a band and he's not drinking, he's not doing drugs, and he's having fun and he has a life. There's hope. Like you said, and that's all I want to do is just like give hope, but just be me.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't want to walk into a bar and be like, I have all the answers. Put your glasses down. And I did that, which is funny, on my 30-day clean. You put your glasses down, and I have pamphlets in the car. We're going to go to NA meetings, and Ice Cube's at me thing. Get the fuck out. Hey, baby, that's the wrong approach. But so
during that time, like you're using, and you're trying to get sober, and you keep falling back and stuff like that. Were you playing at the time?
Yeah,
you were.
I was in the blues band.
Okay.
I was heavily drinking when I was in the blues band, because we played bars. We
played
bars everywhere in Long Island. We played in Suffolk. We played in Nassau. Everything. And then I formed Caffeine in 96, 95.
Okay.
Billy Mira. And that instantly took off at a weird time, because Billy just quit Whiskey Road, which was taken off.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I was out of a blues project and I needed something to do. And Billy and I hooked up and we formed a power band of crazy musicians, and we played the circuit as an original band.
Yeah.
My drug use escalated.
Really?
Yeah. And then I wanted to. I knew I knew I had a problem, but I didn't want to I was like, I'm still getting over my dad dying, and I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of things that I didn't want to feel. So drugs for me were the excuse me. Drugs to me were the answer to not feel.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So once I put the drugs down, and then the drug obsession is lifted, which takes time. Now it's not about the drugs anymore. It's about why. It's me. It all begins and ends with me. Like, why am I using drugs? Why am I drinking? And that's where work comes involved. And and if you go to meetings all the time and do the right thing, you learn about yourself,
Yeah. During that time, like you said, we're still, you're still playing, you're with the bands you're using and stuff like that. Was it at any point, like when you're using and you're just like, you have one of those moments where you just can't take it anymore? It's like, are you picking up the guitar and you're playing, or are you just looking at it and you're going, I don't need to do that right now, I need to go and use something else or whatnot? Like, is it a mix of the two? Like, what's going on in your head?
I always played, but I didn't get into like the gift and the appreciation for why I play until later on, right? When we have things, it takes time to really appreciate something, right? Like if you get something quick, sometimes you don't really appreciate it. But if you hold on to it, like guitar for me, I've held on to for so long.
Yeah.
I appreciate now every moment, both past and present. When I was using, I'd play and I'd think I was Jimi Hendrix, and people would be like, I was like, dude, I'm Jimi Hendrix. He's like, no, you're more like Freddie Hendrix. Like, who's that? And they're like, exactly, who's that?
Yeah.
But there was a moment, and I was clean for a long time, where I had a fight with an ex. I was miserable. I was angry. I was feeling feelings. And when an addict is in dark places, which is in here, it can become very dangerous. And I wasn't being vocal. I wasn't like calling my sponsor. I wasn't telling anybody about it. I was just feeling, I want to isolate, fast forward to, I said, fuck it. I'm going to go use. I'm going to go relapse. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I need to stop feeling this pain. And I went downstairs to my house and I went to go get a shirt, and I look over and there's my guitar and a guitar stand. And the light was so weird, AJ. The light was just kind of gleaming on a little bit.
Like, perfect. Yeah.
It was like a sign. I was like, oh, you dick. I'm going to go do something wrong. You want me to, and I sat down and I wrote the main riff to one of the songs that are on my solo record.
Okay.
Called You and I. And that little riff became therapeutic. It made me calm. It made me say, you know what? I'm going to be okay. And music has saved me music has saved my life. It saved me on many occasions, brother.
Yeah.
And I wrote a pretty cool tune that I'm pretty proud of. So
no, that's awesome. Again, that's awesome that you could take something so negative and just be able to use that negative energy and just bring the positive out of it. And that's sick, dude, that you have the ability to do that. It's, again, that's another thing that's just very inspiring. Take that anger, take that, that pain, that hate or whatnot, and just transfer it into something positive. It's the best way to do it.
Music is very therapeutic. You know the deal. Music is very therapeutic, man. There are people who play music because they, like, we breathe air. It's like that's that instinct. It's like I love music. And then there are people who play music to, for their own reasons. But for me, and I know for you, it's when you're behind your kit. And I've been in the room with you, dude. When you're behind that kit, there's a feeling that I feel that you're feeling because we're in it. We're on the same. We may not be in the same, age range, or like maybe we're like different rooms. But when we get in that room and you're behind the kit and I'm on my guitar, and if I'm feeling what you're feeling, then there's that connection, and I'm gonna dive in and meet you there. And that's what's beautiful about, I think, our relationship.
Yeah. No, it's always been, it felt very natural from like the first time I asked you to come down and jam with us, as I'm kicking my friggin' camera.
That's okay.
The first time I asked you to come down and jam with us, it was like, it felt Like, okay, like we don't even have to write anything right now. We could just jam on some random chords and just feed off of,
Yeah,
each other's energy.
exactly.
It was
Yeah, that's
definitely,
beautiful.
yeah, it was definitely a welcome change, and it's one of those things where like most things in life, it didn't last, but the time that was spent there was just amazing. And like I
Yeah,
still
it was definitely a good time in my life because you knew for a long time, like after I left Strange, like I was in a leaving Strange was not easy. I
well
know that's like another
that's
subject we're gonna talk
well, yeah,
about, but
exactly. That's what another segue. I was trying to say. He
segue.
already segued into it. Like, how many years were you in Strange before you had to step away for the first
Well,
time?
I was day one.
Okay.
I got a call from I actually know Jimmy G posted on MySpace. He goes, any new guitar player, any
Wow,
good guitar
throwback.
players out there? Yeah, total throwback. And I was like, at work, and I saw his post, and I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I play.
Yeah.
So he set up the audition process, which I
Mhm.
didn't know I was being auditioned, but I was like, all right, cool, I get it. Maybe he's got other people coming down. And where I knew Tassone from Sick as Monday, so
Uh-huh.
I didn't know Tommy that well. I met him one time when Jimmy did a show with them with
Mhm.
a guy named Jerry,
Okay.
right? Who was playing guitar with them, and amazing guitar player, but it didn't work out. That's how I came into the fold. But it wasn't Craving Strange then. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
they were building something,
Mhm.
And when I got into the studio with them for the first time, they sent me 3 songs to learn. It was Tonight We Die For, Out the Window, and In My Skin.
Mhm.
So and those weren't on any record. They were just like a
Yeah.
little room recording.
Uh-huh.
So I put my thoughts of what I could do over it. And
Yeah.
when we all got in the room, it was like, what's going on? This is really cool. Like it was like a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
feeling for all of us.
Mhm.
And we built the band, the 4 of us, from day one when they told me I was in the band,
Mhm.
right up to when I left. When I left, it was like mid 2010, maybe
Mhm.
coming to 2011. I was like 2010.
Because I remember we played your farewell show. That I remember when we
Yeah, I
all
got video
dressed
of
like
that too.
when we all dressed like Frank. And
Frank Appreciation Day.
that was so
I
much
thought that was
fun.
brilliant. I never didn't expect that at all. Yeah.
It was
And
so
then
much
one
fun.
gig, I don't wear my headband and ripped
And
jeans.
we're all
I was like, whoa, that's so wild. I remember walking into Mulcahy's and Jimmy was like, dude, where's your bandana? I'm like, what? This is when you give a shit about my bandana. He goes, take a look around.
everybody.
I was like, oh wow.
Oh
Like, I'm
man.
oblivious. I'm like, yeah, it was cool. And then like getting up there with you guys and playing Bury Me, I think we played, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That was, for me, it was like, oh, that was so much fun, man. That was
Yeah.
such a good
Dude,
night.
it was it was a great
Everyone
night.
played
That was a
so
great
well.
night. It was a somber night because we knew that we weren't going to see, well, we thought that we were never going to see Frank again in
Yeah, that's what I thought
Strange.
too. Yeah.
So yeah, it sucked at that point.
It was very bittersweet, It
Yeah.
was like we all tried to, like, when I went to the studio and told the guys before I told anybody, I just was like at home with Frankie, and I was like, he was crying because I was leaving to go to the studio, and I couldn't understand why he was crying.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, and he was like what was it, like 4 or 5. He was like,
Yeah, he was young.
yeah, and he had to process this whole thing of like daddy
Mhm.
going to the studio 5 nights a week, touring shows, studio 5 nights a week, touring shows. And we built that band in those years of the foundation of Strange, right?
Mhm.
I leave, and Matt came in and and I think he did an amazing job. I think like him not replacing, but him coming into the family.
Yeah.
He did his thing,
Mhm.
and he did it well. He didn't like replicate what I did. He didn't do like the guitar in the air thing and spit in water. He did his thing.
Of course, yeah.
And he put his twist on it, and he did it as a guitar player. I gotta tell him, I think he did great.
Yeah.
He wrote some great songs. He contributed. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Coming back into it, I never thought I'd be back in the band.
Mhm.
Like if you were to tell me like when I left the band a couple of years from now you'd be back, I'd be like, you gotta
Yeah.
be kidding me. They'll never take me back. And I met Jimmy at Revolution. They were playing a show, and it was like I didn't know it was Matt's, like, I think it was like his last show or something like that.
Uh-huh.
He didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And Jim, it was a Friday, and Jim told me, you want to come down on Saturday, which was the next day, and come jam. I was like, what? At the studio? Guitar, like my guitar you want to bring? So I went home that night and I stayed up all night and I listened to all the songs to get refreshed. And then we showed up that Saturday afternoon. It was me, Tasson, and Jim. And Mike was in the band at the time, but he couldn't make it. And we played for hours.
Yeah.
We plugged in and it was like magic again.
Like welcome home type of thing.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was like that feeling of like, wow. You know, it was like a really good feeling. And for all of us, it wasn't just for me. It was like Jim was happy. Jim Tasson was like, you know, we were all like texting each other on the way back, going, "What just happened?
Yeah,
Frank just play again." You know, like yeah. And at the end of the show, at the end of the studio session, I didn't think I was going to join the band. Jim had booked 2 other shows, one in the city and then one at Evenflow. And Matt didn't do the shows, so Jim said to me, you know, if you want to, as I'm packing my gear up, he goes, yeah, if you want to play the shows, you know, I got 2 shows. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then he goes, yeah, if you want to join the band again, you know, you come back in, you know, I'm like, what? Yeah. Join the band? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign. Do it now, right now. Join the band. Do I tell everybody? You know, like, you know, me and my ADHD was like going all over the place. And then the rest was like, you know,
because I remember because we were in Fight of the Century when all of this was happening.
Yeah.
And I remember, but I remember you texting me like, you know, I'm jamming with the guys from Strange. I'm just jamming. I just want you to know. And I was going on. And I was like, yeah, dude, go, like, just jam, like, go. And then, you know, it was me and you would meet because, of course, we were notorious for being down at the practices at 7. We'll be there at 4:30 because that's usually the way we were.
I like to get there when the cleaning crew cleans the whole studio.
Can somebody tell Frank to unlock the doors and let everybody in, please? Like, that's what we need to do. But I remember going down there and like we wouldn't even really play. We would talk, and you would be like, you know, they want me to play these shows with them and I might do some recording, but I don't want to leave here. And I remember it was a couple of weeks that it went through that. And then you and I finally sat together and I was just like, dude, this is where you need to be. Like,
this is my living room.
If that's, I said, if that's home for you, that's what you need to be. That's not going to change. Like, I'm not going to turn around and be like, you know, I'm never going to talk to this guy again. Was there a little bit of hurt there? Yeah, of course, there always is. But it wasn't one of those things where I was like, all right, well, screw that guy now. I think
I think it's because also, AJ, it's like we have a friendship, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, we're also like not one of those like not stereotypical musicians where it's like, used to be my band only. You're my guitar player. No one else's.
Yeah.
You know? And then like, if you're like, dude, listen, but I have this opportunity and I'll still play with you, but I got this opportunity. And they're like, you're my guitar player. When the frig do I become anyone's territory? Or you?
Exactly.
You know? No, I'm no one's territory.
Yeah.
But like for me, you knew that like there was a personal feeling that I needed to explore and see what was going on.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that, you know, and I'm so glad that that didn't hurt our friendship, man.
No, not at all. And I mean, personally, it, like, something like that happened with me when, you know, Mike said he wanted to start something heavy. Mike was talking to me about doing another project besides, you know, LTOB. And he's like, I just want to start writing heavy stuff and everything. And he would send me stuff and everything. And I'm like, I'm like, dude, you got to let me like do the drum tracks on this. Just let me come in and throw down the drums. And then it slowly turned into, well, yeah, that was the whole plan, you moron. That's why I'm sending you this stuff. So I was still playing with Sound of Madness, you know, the cover gig and stuff like that, because at the time, that's what I needed. Like, I was at a point where I didn't want to be writing. I didn't want the stress of, all right, I got to write this song and now I got to make sure that the lyrics are good and there's this and that. I just wanted to play. So it was, hey guys, I like these songs. Learn these. Let's play them. Let's play a couple of shows and make money. And that's really the reason why we did that. We needed that escape to play, and we had a good time doing it. And when Mike,
great musicians on that bill.
Oh, dude, it's still to this day, it's still amazing to get in the room with those guys and just you know, rip through. But when Mike called me and was like, "This is what I want to do," I said, "Dude, I'm in." Like, almost exactly like you did with Jimmy. Like,
the partnership that you have with Wayman, right, is similar to what like Jimmy and I have. You know, like Jimmy and I have been friends, oh my God, since I think he moved to New York, you know?
Yeah.
I met him before he even formed Sick as Monday. You know, through mutual friends,
Mhm.
and we have like the big brother, medium sized brother type, you know, like friendship, you know.
Yeah.
He loves me, he hates me. I love him. I want to, you know, hate him too. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like, but it's a good working thing
Mhm.
in our field, and it works. You know,
Yeah.
the songs we write, the way we interact with each other when we write. You know, there's a respect level, and it's also with in time as you grow with people. And
Mhm.
you and Wayman have that, man. Like when you told me you were playing with Wayman again, I'm like, what? You know, and we were
Yeah.
talking. I think it was at KJ Farrell's,
Yep.
and you were
Because
behind the kid again, and I was like,
you were one of the first people we told.
yeah.
We were
And I
like
was so happy
yeah.
you
So
told
we're
me.
starting something, and you were like, no, wait, no, you
Yeah.
don't lie to me. You're not lying.
Don't
You're not
mess with a
lying.
man's emotions, bro. But I was so happy because one, you guys make such a great team. You guys are killer musicians, and you guys work so well together in this business. You know,
Mhm.
to see you pair up again is just it's for me. It brings back the nostalgia, but it also shows that there's a future of a different vibe, something going on.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I refer to Mike, and I think he does too. I refer to Mike as my heterosexual musical life mate, and it's like you can try and get rid of me, but I'm just gonna keep
Just
coming
gonna keep
back
showing
because
up. Yeah.
I just keep feeding off of
Jim
that.
kind of refers to me as like fungus, you know. So it's different, the same thing, but a little different. You know?
Dude, I guess it's better than being referred to as herpes. Like,
well, it's like luggage. You never get rid of it.
So through all of this, I'm gonna talk about some other stuff now because I know we're eventually gonna get into it.
Cool.
Your favorite band of all time? It's no question to anybody that it's gotta be I don't know, Elvis. No, it's Pearl Jam. it's
Okay.
definitely Pearl Jam. When did you first get into Pearl Jam, and when were you like just completely blown away by them?
I was hanging out in the city a lot. I would go to the Limelight and go to clubs there with friends
Mm-hmm.
In 1990 and 1989. You know, it's again, I'm dating myself, right? There was a
I'm not
club,
gonna say nothing.
there was a club called Limelight,
Okay.
and in '92 there was in a magazine. It was a magazine. It was like a newspaper, like Good Times kind of thing. I
Mhm.
remember I was reading, and I look at the back, and it said Pearl Jam Limelight sold out. I'm like, sold out Limelight? I'm like, who the fuck is this man? And then on MTV, the song Alive, the video for Alive came on.
Okay.
And I was like, and it was in the background. I was like, what is that? What is that? That sounds cool, but that wasn't what got me.
Yeah.
Going to that show that was sold out, and I snuck in, all the way in the back,
Mhm.
and the place was packed, and watching the vibe of these they were crazy at the time, you know, climbing off the rafters, and
Mhm.
they were in their prime. They were in the beginnings of getting into their prime.
Yeah.
That impressed me. But what impressed me is when I went back and I went and picked up 3 CDs at Uncle Phil's.
Wow. All right, we're dating ourselves now.
Ourselves again, right? I picked up the Metallica, the Black Album, I think just came out.
Okay.
I bought that CD. And it was when it was in cardboard. It was like
I was gonna say, was it the CD or was it the cassette? Fess up.
No,
Which one?
it was the CD. It was
All
the CD.
right, all right.
I was the goofball with the '85 Buick Riviera and a 6 CD changer in
There's
the trunk.
nothing wrong with an '85 Buick Riviera. Nothing wrong with it.
But I bought that CD and I bought Badlands, the first record,
Okay.
which affected me completely.
Yeah.
10. I saw the record just said Pearl Jam. I was like, well, oh, cool. Let me check this band out. And I popped the CD in my room, and I sat there. And Once came on, and then Even Flow, and then Live, but then Black came on, and when Black hit, I was like listening, and I was listening. You know, like when a song hits you, it's like everything closes for me.
Yep.
This is how it happens. Everything around me closes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one in my life but that song. That's how it is for me, right? That's what's in his head. And that song came on, and then Oceans, and then Release. I got hit with like that entire record was a garden. All those songs just like kept hitting me.
Yep.
And that was it. And every record, why I'm a fan, every record that they put out, they evolved, right? They weren't just a replica of the first record. You know, the second and third kind of sound similar, but once they hit their fourth record, they came into their own to find like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I like that. each record they put out and every song that they put out was a part of my life where something was going on.
Yeah.
And the music helped me get through it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So each record is just so special to me, you know?
Yeah.
Their songs are not radio hits, or they're not, you know, everyone's favorite. And that's cool. You don't
Yeah.
have to be a Pearl Jam fan like I am, or like you be a Pearl Jam fan like how you are, or don't be a Pearl Jam fan. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit, you know?
Mhm.
It doesn't affect me, but what matters to me is I appreciate that shit. You know, that's my go-to band. You
Yeah.
know? Drives Kim crazy. She's like, oh, can I say something else? I'm like,
Well,
this song's so great. She's like, yeah, but you heard it 40 times already.
but I mean that kind of gets me into like what I was going to ask you next. Like if you're having one of those days where it's just like, you know, work sucks, you for whatever reason you don't want to be home, you're in a mood, you're in something like that, is it that always that band, and is it that album, or is there something else that's just like, all right, I just got to listen to this one song so that I don't kill everybody around me, and then I'll be able to just relax?
There's two ways I approach it. Like there's two moods for me when I get in that route.
Mm-hmm.
I either get very ragey, right, where I let the anger and the feelings hit me and I got to rage it.
Yep.
Or I become very suppressed and quiet and need to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get in the ragey moods, I put on Spin the Black Circle. I'll put on Review Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I won't put on the record version. I find live versions from over the years that are more powerful for me, because there's like moments in time in concerts that's like, wow. You know, I used to listen to bootlegs of their CDs. They would put out little bootlegs before they officially put out bootlegs. I would go to Uncle Phil's and they would have like a guy would write on the CD, I was at the show and here's the set list, and he would let me listen to it with the headphones, and I'd be like, wow, that's a great quality audio, and that's a great sounding, Black sounds amazing, that's a great version. Yeah. They would do different things. So when I'm raging, Spin the Black Circle or Review Mirror. Mm-hmm. And if I'm mellow and I need to really feel something, Release has always been my go-to. But lately it's been Off He Goes. It's off of No Code. It's just chill acoustic. Mm-hmm. It's just a great song.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, it's not for everyone, but it is for me.
No, but dude, you know, it's funny, and it's kind of amazing, like the connection that you said that you had to especially Black, because not being like the hugest Pearl Jam fan, it's like whenever I hear that song, and especially the last line of the song, like I get emotional about it. I mean, especially now, what, you know, within the past couple of years, you know, I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, but why can't it be mine? It's like, dude, you don't have to sing that. You could just write it down and read it, and it just hits you differently.
And then when you see him live and he goes extra and the band goes longer after he says that, and then he goes and ad libs and he says, "We belong together," but he screams it, you know? Like, we belong, you know, and you feel that. It's like, you know, and then there was a show where I'm
getting chills now just talking
about in New York City in '98. He comes out and you're thinking he's going to do this whole "We Belong Together" thing because he did it for so long, and he goes, just simple. He's like, "We didn't belong together. Mm-hmm. We didn't belong together," and he did this cool, mellow, other version of it, you know. And I was like, and I was at that show. I was like, oh my god, this is another way that music is capturing something in my life that is taking effect, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's cool, man. You could vibe off of them.
Yeah, really. Moments like that. It doesn't matter what band it is. It's like I've seen, I don't know how many bands. We were talking about it the other day. I was talking with Ian, actually. I had gone to see Chevelle at the Paramount, and they were playing. I'm pretty sure they were introing a different song, but they started to play the beginning of the song "Panic Prone," which is just starts with him playing guitar and singing, you know, very, very like light vocals and stuff like that. He sang the first like 2 or 3 words and then pulled back from the mic, and the crowd was singing while he was playing. And it's like, that gives you more emotion just to see him up there playing and smiling. And it's like, you know, the moments like that, it's like, that's what makes me feel like, all right, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Because if
exactly.
it's something that we're doing or something that you guys are doing or something like that, to where, yeah, dude, I've been to God knows how many strange songs, and to get to the point where if Jimmy didn't want to, Jimmy didn't have to sing. He would just start playing and the crowd could sing the songs. It's like, to
And being
get,
on stage and hearing that, it's
oh,
at first
dude.
it's like, what? You guys know the song? It's like,
Yeah.
and then now coming back into it, and then I'm like so energized because like I want to hear that. And when you hear it and you hear it roared at you, it's like, wow, man, they have no idea that we wrote this in a stinky studio, like,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
looped it like 1,000 times to get this part where it was like a good moment, and we honed in on it, and now all of a sudden the crowd gets it. And
Mm-hmm.
there are songs that we play that like I don't understand, like I can't even imagine. But I know there are moments when I'm on stage, I'm like, wow, this song affects people. Like people
Yeah.
like, and then there are songs when I play on stage. There's very few songs that get me,
Mm-hmm.
but there are moments in time where I remember where I was when I wrote it with Jimmy and the guys,
Yeah.
the parts that I play in it, and I remember the feeling, and I get emotional.
Oh,
Like
yeah, of
I've been
course.
there've been times I've been like, like I, and but I take it out on my guitar, and then after I'm like, oh, that felt good, and
Yeah.
when someone picks up on it and they're like, dude, what were you feeling? And I'm like, you saw that, it's
Mm-hmm.
a great feeling, man. It's an
Like,
amazing feeling.
it's funny, like it's amazing that you feel that, like, even with your own tunes, like, and I said the same thing to Mike when I spoke to him. um some of the stuff that we're writing, I'll say to him, hey, I kind of want this song, like, here's a couple of lyrics, like, put these somewhere and whatnot, and he just builds this story from what you give him, and, like, the way I interpret it will be different from the way you interpret it, will be different from the way that person interpret, but they're all feeling it somehow.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
that's the goal, to get somebody to feel it, like, just absorb that music, and however they want to, take it, just,
Just go with
it's, yeah, just go with
it.
it. It's an
That's
amazing.
what happened with our latest single that's coming out in March,
Hmm.
which I think is one of our. I personally think it's the best song we've ever written as a band.
Hmm.
I think it's one of the best Craving Strange songs. I think it's the um, best lyrics Jimmy's ever written. I think it's the best time of co collaborating together in
Okay.
this band. All four of us,
Hmm.
not just like hey, I got a riff, hey, I got an idea, put it together. What do you got? A song. This
Hmm.
one was like a journey,
Yeah.
and the respect level again. Jimmy and I have grown so much together where he's trusting like me.
Hmm.
Why, like, dude, no, I hear it this way,
Yeah.
trust me. I know you're hearing it this way. Let's go here.
Hmm.
And him to do that in the recording studio with Caggiano and everyone looking at us like, what the fuck's going on, guys? Let's do this.
Yeah.
And now, like I heard the final mix the other day of its songs called Ashes.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, dude, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm tooting the entire band's and Caggiano's horn because
Hmm.
they captured what I was going through at the time when we wrote it,
Hmm.
what Jim was going through, and then the guys Monty and Chris just they owned they owned the whole thing, man. It's epic.
I heard a little bit of it, a little bit,
Cool.
and it's like one of those, that the little itty bitty part that I heard, like, just dude, like, goosebumps,
It's a
because it was
journey.
like, because when I heard it, I was like, this ain't them, and
It's
then you hear
yeah, it
Jimmy
blows you
sing it,
away,
and I was like, whoa, dude,
bro. It's beautiful.
like, yeah,
It's like the
no.
November rain,
Yeah,
the
it's an epic.
strange.
It's an
Yeah,
epic. That's what it is.
yeah.
It's just, oh, dude.
And
I'm I'm
the
so looking
guitar
forward to
solo,
the full release of it.
at the end, bro. Right? Like I was I was dealing with some shit.
Yeah.
And what do I do? I write. And it was the time when, COVID just hit. I
Hmm.
had I just started making some changes going on at home. And then like all of a sudden it's like, I had nothing but me and a guitar in my basement because that's where I quarantined and stayed in the basement.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know what was going on in the world. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know anything, but I knew that I needed to play my guitar. And
Hmm.
I just had surgery like a
Yeah.
month before that, man, major
Hmm.
surgery. And all these things were happening to me like mentally and physically, and I didn't know what was going on. I felt alone. And, even though Kim was with me and she was beyond like helpful in so many ways and loving and awesome. When I sat in that basement, I wrote the solo outline from what I was feeling for that song, the ending solo.
Yeah.
And then when I came back and we all were like, okay, well, it's okay now, we can rehearse now. We got right to work on orchestrating that song. And
Yeah.
the way Jimmy sings it to the way the music is arranged, how Caggiano like captured all these cool little things. It's a journey, man. I think it's the best song we've ever written.
Dude, I'm so pumped to hear like the full release of it, because it's just hearing you talk about it, like it just gets you pumped for it. And
yeah, it's gonna be good. And it's not like for like say, hey, buy my album. It's just, dude, feel what I feel what I felt.
And is there you said March? Is there a date? Or
we're that's why after I talk with you, I'm going to the studio tonight. We're going to talk about
okay.
it.
All right, good. So
when I get
March,
dates, everything's official.
March, people, just March at some point. Man, there's a lot of good stuff happening in March. We're hopefully putting out some more stuff in March too. Sweet. I can't, dude, we need to get back to playing shows, like, or let's at least do another live stream. That was dude, that was some of the most fun that I've ever had, not with a group of people, like ever. It was awesome. The chat that we had going alone.
It was funny.
I felt like I was at a show. Like it was
couch, and I felt like it was a show too. Yeah. I was on my couch looking at everything, and like the show on the big 75-inch TV is a show, right?
Yep.
But on my laptop is a chat room.
And I had it set up the same way.
Yeah, Kim and Frankie are watching it and they're enjoying it. And I'm just looking at the chat room going, oh my God, I miss these people. I want to just be in the same room and like just everything in their ear. You know? Just
the banter back and forth. Like you just felt home. And
it was cool.
I know I miss it. I know everybody else misses it.
It was therapeutic for everyone. It was welcomed by everyone. Not just because we played a show, is because everyone came together as like we all are family.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, off the cuff question right here. Guilty pleasure band music that you really don't want people to know that you thrash out to, but you do. What are we talking?
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, guilty pleasure.
Brother.
Don't worry, no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. We're like Planet Fitness. Don't worry, it's judgment-free here.
Well, lately I've been listening to Tiny Dancer from Elton John.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But
no.
Then I dove a little deeper.
Okay.
And got into Easy Like a Sunday Morning. I got reintroduced to that version.
Dude.
Lionel Richie, like,
dude. You can't go wrong with Lionel Richie. Like,
and Fleetwood Mac, some old Fleetwood Mac. Kim loves Fleetwood Mac. She turned me on when I first started dating.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was like, wow, that's a great tune. And like, vibing on that. But I like Monty. I like Barry Manilow, man.
Listen, dude, you're talking to a huge Neil Diamond fan right here. Like Neil, dude. I was heartbroken when I heard that he wasn't going to be touring anymore because he got sick and whatnot. Like I was planning on, I said, all right, I got to see this guy. Right. And then he announced, oh no, he's not touring anymore. But
yeah, I've been to the movie. What was it? The Jazz Singer?
The Jazz Singer.
When I was a kid growing up, my sister used to watch it. And I was like,
I mean, I didn't see it when I was a kid growing up, but I saw it.
You weren't even around, I don't think.
No, when it came out, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, I'm 1973, baby.
Dude, don't ever like feel bad about, I tell everybody this, don't ever feel bad about what you listen to. Don't ever feel ashamed by it. Like I tell everybody that if anybody were to see my Spotify list right now, they'd be like, what is wrong with this guy? Because it goes from Trivium to Electric Light Orchestra to Slipknot to Steely Dan to Fleetwood Mac to, it's just whatever you're feeling at that point, whatever you're vibing to. Like when I spoke to Ian last time, when the last show that he was on, he was like, dude, I listen to metal. I listen to Dream Theater, huge Dream Theater fan and stuff. He goes, I completely vibe out to Deadmau5 and like that electro techno music and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
I like that too. I like the Frankie Bones was a DJ in Manhattan. And we hang out at the club Sound Factory, and his rave music was like, at first I was like, this is garbage. And then my friend was like, dude, just listen to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you feel the energy, and it takes you to like little areas of music. I love that stuff. I love all kinds of music.
And then there's some times that you just need like a song like Black just to all right, I just need,
that's the
for me that song is 23 from Jimmy Eat World. It's just I hear that song and it's just like, all right, I can relax now. I can vibe. Like, it gets me personally, it has a personal meaning to me, so it gets a little emotional, but it's like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Music is supposed to make you emotional
I,
somehow.
I tatted it on my arm for my 40th, 39th, 30th
Dude,
birthday.
22nd.
I put the Pearl Jam logo on there with tattooed everything. It says it's a lyric from the album.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that song. But for me, the all time is Release, because that's a, he says, "Oh dear dad, can you see me now?" And that's like,
Oh yeah.
for me, my dad, I lost him when I was 16, and
Mm-hmm.
hero. And so when I first heard that song up till now, it always brings back that memory of like,
Yeah.
can you see me now,
Definitely.
Dad? Would you be proud? Like, I don't know. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
So
He is.
I think so.
Just know that. You don't even have to think it. Just know it. Just know it with everything that's been accomplished and that you've come through. I wanted to. Oh man, I wanted to ask you one more pressing question.
Press anything, buddy. Press 2 for more options.
Yeah. No, nothing really crazy. Just before before we start to go through the sign off and everything like that. Anybody listening right now that's struggling with whatever. It could be an emotional thing. It could be, depression. They've lost somebody, they're battling and stuff like that and whatnot, and are thinking that what we do doesn't help. Like, even so much as listening to the music, it doesn't help. What would you tell somebody going through that right now? I know it's a loaded question.
No, it's cool. I kind of get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's always about just to say to anyone who's struggling, whether it be you're struggling for trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out, do you want to use, trying to figure out, like, do I want to end a marriage, do I want to begin a marriage, whatever you're going through and struggling with, there's always tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now sucks, right? Where life throws us some stuff sometimes, and it's everybody in the world. No one. What we have to understand is, like, as human beings, life, and it's not a religious thing. It's a life thing. It throws us curveballs.
Yeah.
You're married one day, you're not the next. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on stage one day, now I'm not. What do I do? I'm into drugs. I'm not into drugs. How do I? What do I do? Do you fault and say give up and have hope, man? There's hope, and even if you don't think that there's hope, just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't. Like I tell people, like in the program, like, just don't pick up, you won't get high. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about? No, you're like, if you don't put the drug in, it can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
So give time. Let space happen between thought and action. And next thing you know, feelings pass, because that's what all they are, is feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And when they pass and you feel better and you didn't do the wrong thing, there's a sense of like, oh, all right, I can do this. Maybe I'll do this again. And
Yep.
then tomorrow turns into a month, and then 15 years. I mean, I never thought I'd ever have 15 years clean, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen some
That's
shit.
huge, dude. That's
And
huge.
like, having it means, hey man, I got 15 years. Nope. It means if I can do it, trust me, anyone can do it. Means you can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not preaching anything.
Mhm.
I'm just so you know, I don't know if you're aware of it, but I'm doing I'm developing a podcast of my own.
Yep. I was going to tell you, make sure to plug it. Absolutely.
And the point of it is to spread the message, not of the program, right?
Mhm.
Not be preachy. Spread the message of when a person is sharing a story of something personal, and you listen, and you don't like compare your story to theirs, but you listen to what's being said. I
Mhm.
guarantee you'll find something in anything that someone will share to you that
Yeah.
you could take home and say, wow, that's going to help me get through this.
Mhm.
That's why I would go to meetings. So what I'm developing now is a podcast called Rock Covery.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a one-on-one interview with various people in recovery who I know for like my whole entire journey in the program.
Mhm.
Musicians, people from all walks of life, people who are clean 30 years, people who are clean a year. I want to know
Mhm.
I want to get around everybody.
Yeah.
Let the person who's listening, even if it's one person saying, yo, man, that helped me. I done my job. I
Yep.
don't care if it's picked up by like worldwide distribution. I don't care if it's like, word known. I care that whatever I'm letting you know, like what's going on in this, by not using, by like, how did you do it? What are your stories? What are your war stories? What's your hope for the person listening? There's hope, man.
Yeah.
There is hope. We just got to spread it a little more instead of all this negativity. So
yeah,
that's where I'm going with it.
that's legitimately, that's the whole reason why I started this. Like I had different ideas for what I wanted to do as far as, webcasts and webisodes and podcasts and everything like that. But I was like, listen, music has been like the biggest influence in my life. And I know it has been for a lot of people I know, whether or not they're in bands and stuff like that. I want to get them talking about some personal shit, like some stuff that really, really affected them, how their music or their involvement in music helped play a part in bringing them out of that dark place. Because, dude, who knows? You talking about what you talked about tonight, like you said, if one person watched it and said, yeah, dude, I was exactly where Frank was. Like, I'm not alone here. Like that's huge. That's the whole reason why I wanted to start this. And I know your podcast is going to be the same thing. And I'm pumped. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing it for the only reason for me is I feel so passionate about my recovery, but I've been very quiet over the years about it. Like people are like, they don't know how to, like even people like who don't use, they don't know really how to react around me, because when they find out that like, oh, you're clean, you don't drink, you don't do drugs, we're gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Like it's an uncomfortability, and I want to get to that topic too. I want to know what's in your mind when, what are you thinking? Like, I don't get invited out to like happy hour with the guys after work. Sometimes they all go to happy hour, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I've been on the road. I've seen shit, and I don't, just my personal preference is I don't drink, I don't do drugs, right? But I don't preach it. If you're gonna drink, that's you, dude, not me.
Yeah.
But if you ever wanted my help, I'm here. I was in Ohio and some guy was like, shots, in the band that was going on before us. And he was loud. He was obnoxious. And he was slamming drinks down. And he was getting ready to be a rock and roller. And he had chains and a mohawk. And I thought he was cool. We laughed. We got along. We talked a little bit. And and they just, come on, I'm gonna buy you whatever you want to drink. I'm like, cool. I'll take a water with ice. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And then I told him, like, dude, it's cool, man. Water's cool for me. Whatever you want is good for you. And he's like, you in the program? And he was in the program for a long time, and then he decided to dip out, do that. Fast forward, I got a private message from him a year later, thanking me. And I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because just seeing that you were there and you played and you kicked ass and you went home and you didn't have a drink in your hand to do the wrong thing, made me really think at that moment. And now he's clean like multiple. I still talk to him. Multiple years, family, house, responsibilities, still rocks out. I get that all the time. I get like weird random text messages from people who just like, thank you.
Yeah.
I did what I do. And it's just about, you never know who's watching, bro. But they're
of course.
They're all watching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be the sign of like of hope for people. And what you're doing with your podcast, I love it, man. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I'm so glad I'm a part of it, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for, coming on and telling us some stories and stuff. And one thing I'm going to take away from what you just said, guys, listen to Frank. He said something amazing there. And if you didn't pick up on it, I picked up on it. It was, there's always tomorrow. Today could have been what you think is the worst day of your life, but you have tomorrow to change that. And just always keep that positivity. I always try and make it, keep it centered around the music somehow and everything like that. Yeah, it's a big aspect of, helping somebody like me get through it, or somebody like Frank, or even somebody like yourself. But find something that makes you happy that will help save your life. Doesn't have to be music. Music is huge, any type. You can talk to us. We can give you some shit that you should listen to that'll help you get through some, good and bad, in different times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to laugh, you want to be in a great mood, listen to Complicated Mandarin. That'll bring your spirits right up.
You really want to throw down and just like get really, really go and download off of the Save Yourself album. Download Save Yourself, because that song still makes me just, every time I hear it, I just punch stuff because it just gets me so amped up. And
I love that song, man.
Every time you guys don't play that at a show, I get very, very angry, and I'm just like, that's it. I'm never gonna listen to this band again. And then we hang out like the next weekend. But
we have people telling us like, dude, fucking play that song. I'm like, all right, tell Jimmy. He's like, I don't give a shit. Who do I got to tell? And like, Jimmy will come up to me and be like, yeah, that guy told me he wants to play Save Yourself, but we're gonna play Angeline. I'm like, dude, Save Yourself. They want to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna play Angeline. And then, but Angeline, he's right. The set list, the way he writes it out is great.
Yeah.
When we do play it, and that and Awaken Alone are like,
dude, that next time you guys play, Jimmy, Save Yourself, please. Save yourself. Save the rest of us and play Save Yourself, please.
Definitely.
Frankie, thank you for being on, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, check out Frank and Craving Strange and all of their crazy antics on strangerhoodtv.com. You could see Craving Strange stuff. You see Jimmy with Mike and Bacon is My Passion. Bacon is My Podcast. You see Jamming with a Stranger. You see, what is it? Music DJ's with Monty. DJ's Top 20 Music with Monty.
Mundane Monty's. Like
I love
trying
it.
to come up with something for him.
Oh my God.
Waterbury's got the drum.
The Jamming with a Stranger. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
who knows? Hopefully one day soon, maybe we'll see, Music Saved My Life up there on Strangerhood TV to get it out to more people. But Frank, thank you again. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the little the like button down there or over down here below. Or anything down below. Again, I don't know where it is. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Rock on, guys.
Peace.